felt like shit last week.
Yeah.
I was exhausted, dude. You ever feel like that when you just
zoned?
Well, you're so out of energy that you can't even, like, you have to fight to focus.
So that should be me today, because I got about 3 hours of sleep last night.
Mine's usually not sleep. It's usually either, like, just complete exhaustion is
Right.
what mine is. Sleep doesn't seem, I mean, like, sleep affects me, but not, like, my brain will still work. My body's just like, you're so tired. Go to sleep.
I'm doing about a 500 to 600 calorie deficit every day.
What the fuck what does that mean?
That means I should be taking in about 2,500 to 3,000
Oh, you're
calories.
only taking in 2?
I'm only taking in 2,000 calories a day. I've moved all of my workouts to a fat burn cardio workout until we go to Cancun. And that's 600 calories in 45 minutes.
Let me ask you a psychology question. Why are you so worried about how you look when you go to Cancun? Not that it's wrong or right.
Yeah, because
Why, personally, do you feel like you should look a certain way when you get there?
Couple of reasons.
I know you're smart enough to know why I'm asking, but you're not this time.
No, so
the camera is rolling, so I didn't know if you wanted
That's
to
okay.
go.
You know what?
Around here-
we will throw this on a little shorty somewhere. We need to be putting them shorties up.
around here, you're in clothes like 24/7, right?
Yeah.
So you go on a beach vacation and you're going to be in like swim trunks and
Yeah.
shirtless, right?
Okay,
So
got it.
it's
Yes.
the opportunity to maximize that look.
Okay.
Plus, it gives you a benchmark goal. Like if you're just driving blind into the night, like, oh, I want to burn fat, but you don't really have like a deadline or a goal to hit by a certain time, then it
Yeah.
makes it tough. So the beach vacation gives me something to focus on.
You're not answering the question. The question is, why do you want to look that certain way when you're there?
Well, who doesn't want to look as good as they can?
Excellent answer. Do you want to look good for yourself?
Yeah.
So you have pride in how you look?
Yeah.
Okay. See, lots of people, like, I'll ask them questions like, oh man, you work out and you do this. Look, I'm in good shape.
Right.
But I do it for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to feel good about myself when I'm hot and sweaty outside and I'm going to take my shirt off.
Right. Right.
That's why. And lots of people are always like, well, I don't.
If you don't have a desire to look good naked, then your man card's like going down a notch.
What if you're a woman and you don't have a desire?
And the whole dad bod thing is like,
That was a scam that lasted 2 weeks.
no, it's still going on right
Is it?
now, but it's a giant scam to water down masculinity in America and try to make guys be more okay with being less masculine. They throw a couple of
There's a
videos out
short,
there.
if I ever heard one.
I'm serious. Like they throw a couple of videos out there of good-looking chicks saying they're okay with dad bods, and it'll get 1 million views because that's a whole bunch of lazy guys
They're looking for
that are trying to
reinforcement.
justify their laziness, and
Reinforcement.
you'll never be able to justify laziness. So,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. That was not a judgmental question. I just wanted to honestly know what you thought.
yeah.
Okay. Good. I like it.
I want to look good at 40. I want to look good naked. Yeah.
Looking good, baby.
Did you see my photo from yesterday?
Yes. I wasn't going to bring it up unless you brought it up.
That was
First
bad.
off, I've done the exact same thing, but I went naked with a sock.
Yeah.
And my ass, I'm not shitting you, looked striped like this, like the flag from the bulbs.
From the bulbs?
But it was like light red, dark red, light red, dark. I mean,
Yeah.
I was sore as fuck for like 3 days.
So-
and I went for, so you remember Holly Hott that I dated a long time ago? Well, she worked at that Celsius tannery.
Right.
And so gave me like a card so I could go like kind of to anywhere. And so I was like, I'll fucking go one time.
Yeah.
I'm like walking like,
Dude.
like the next day. What the fuck was I thinking? I was in there 12 minutes. I was like, what the fuck?
I went for 6 minutes.
Ouch.
Now,
Well,
no,
my
granted,
skin-
they got all these different kinds of beds,
My
so I don't know
skin's
what's...
a lot. Like,
Right.
I tan.
You look at my arms, I'm not
instantly.
burnt.
Well,
It's my
'cause you've
fucking
been-
stomach and my back and
It's
my
because
ass.
those fucking things ain't seen the sun in 12 years.
Right. and so, yeah, I was only in there for like 6 minutes, and it is what it is. And like Danielle and I, we went and got like a little ice cream treat afterwards.
Your thighs were red.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like this color red
And-
of a flag.
and
Like
then-
American flag red.
We come home and we're just chatting, and I'm like, man, my legs itch. And I pull up my pant legs, and they're not red yet or anything, and I'm like, something's weird. Like, I don't know if I got something in my shorts or what, but my thighs are itching. And then like that night, but like an hour and a half later, started like getting ready for bed, and I'm like, I'm turning pink. I wonder if I got burnt. And she's like, "Oh, I bet you did."
She's laughing.
And
She's
then-
like, this dumb fuck.
And then the next, like, I didn't sleep for shit that night because you never sleep with a sunburn,
you can't
right?
move.
Yeah. And so then the next morning, I'm like, "Oh fuck!" It's like this is bad.
6 minutes. That's like when I got that welder burn on my arm.
Yeah, I've had
Like
that before.
Literally, I was laying in bed and like the sweat would get my arm, my raw skin to stick.
Yeah.
And I'd move and I'd just be like,
When I was working on that car, I had little welder's goggles.
oh,
I knew to have goggles. I didn't know to have the face
you
mask
got to have
thing.
the face mask.
And so I get all done, and like again, an hour and a half later, 2 hours later, I'm like squinching my face, like, yeah, my face is all itchy. And then sure enough, gave myself welder burn all over my face.
Yeah.
That shit sucks. My arm blistered up. It was nasty.
Ugh.
My worst burn I had was this when I was working at McDonald's. I was working at the fry station, and I like misjudged like something like in the grease, and I went to like I don't know what it was. I managed to somehow stick my finger like actually in the grease.
In the grease?
You fucking dipshit.
So I was like skimming it, and I just
Had that finger down.
If it's like really, you know how it's like really glossy, and sometimes
Yeah.
it's kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
throws off your depth perception. So I was like skimming it. I just went right in. I pulled it out, and it was like one of those like it doesn't hurt bad at first, and then you start to panic, and you're like,
Yeah.
Gotta go straight to the cold water.
Yeah.
Cold water.
my finger
Wash that
still
thing
has
off.
a little scar from it. But yeah, I think that's what it was. I misjudged like how deep it was in there because it was like fresh.
Right.
Because they have like grease vets now that they just like they circulate, they clean themselves.
Yeah,
right.
You don't have to like really do a whole
Expensive
lot.
as shit. But yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Void. We are a show dedicated to filling the void between being an employee and becoming self-employed. So most people refer to that as taking the leap like you're jumping off a cliff, and we're here to help you understand that it does not have to be that way. You can put some carefully planned steps together and make it very, very easy on yourself. If you're a new listener to the show, scroll back to episodes 1 through 9. We lay down a perfect framework for you to work within to start your business. We go over everything from personal finance prep to business finance prep to systems and processes to community involvement work. We give you the full framework for how to do it. So again, those are episodes 1 through 9. And then every episode after that is just some kind of follow-up episodes. We got a couple of different styles of shows. Those first 1 through 9 episodes, those are our core episodes. We have some Q&A episodes where listeners can email in questions to askmitch@mitchsmedley.com, and we will answer those questions. Those questions can really be about anything. It can be business related or just about life or whatever. Doesn't really matter. If your questions are good enough, we will make a show about them. We also have some guest episodes where we bring on guests who have started their own businesses and we talk about their successes and their failures. And then we have some general business shows where we talk about general business topics. That's what this show is going to be. And then we have Beyond the Void episodes. And what Beyond the Void is it's kind of a chance for us to cut loose a little bit and talk about some more social and political topics that are going on and how a young business-minded person should navigate through all of that. So we try to tie those back to business. Sometimes we don't, and it just turns into a big, giant political rant. So I'm your host, Mitch Smedley, and with me, as always, is David Hilton.
It's good to see you, buddy.
It's good to see you. We're 2 days late.
Yeah, I know.
So we're filming this the week of 4th of July.
So it's Thursday.
It's Thursday. We usually film these on Tuesdays.
Hey,
So,
America. America gets 2 days in our book.
Yeah. Yeah.
He texts me on the Tuesday. He's like, hey, I know we were supposed to have the show tonight. And I'm thinking, what show?
Yeah.
What are you fucking talking about, dude?
He's still hungover
Yeah,
and half lit.
Yeah, my head hurts from the fireworks in the M80s. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're not doing it tonight. And then I read a little further, and he's like, no, seriously, we're not doing it tonight. What other night do you want to do? I was like, okay, good.
Yeah, we closed
Thursday.
the office on Monday the 4th and Tuesday the 5th. So
Yeah,
we figured,
our whole family was off for 4 days. It was nice.
yeah, Yeah, I mean,
Other than it being 1,000 freaking degrees, and I don't have a pool.
right.
Which
It's kind of hard to enjoy the 4th if you have to work on the 5th. So we said,
Oh yeah, dude, that sucks.
yeah, we said
You can't
everybody
go
can
loose.
have 2 days paid instead
Yeah.
of just 1.
I mean, we lit off fireworks till midnight,
Yeah.
like as fast as we could light them.
Shoot.
And then I'm thinking,
The other
man,
night, my neighbor would like you to know that it's July 7th because he was
Nice.
still lighting fireworks off.
for him.
Happy July 7th.
Yeah, we still have like half a little box of like bottle rockets and firecrackers and stuff. We live in the county, so it doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want.
Right.
I almost lit off some when I got home from work today. But
Yeah.
I was like, Dad, let's do some fireworks. I was like, babe, no.
Yeah.
It took me 4 hours to clean them up the next day.
Oh, yeah.
And we have like our yard's huge. I don't really care. I just kind of mow over it all.
Yeah.
But like just the driveway and around the house, 4 hours.
Yeah, I use a leaf
it's
blower
awful.
the night of the 4th and kind of blow everything all together. We
I'm
don't,
lucky to make it into the house and go to bed.
well, so we live in a cul-de-sac, and so we try to be a little bit respectful to the other people around, right? So,
That's why I don't live in the neighborhood. I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
so I'm not going to put it like, I mean, some of that shit still catches on fire, right? So I've had some nights where our pile of fireworks is like on fire at 3 a.m. So,
First off, what I do is I roll it all up and I burn it the next day. And
Yeah.
I know that stuff's going to go off. I had half of a cake, like a 42-shot cake didn't go off.
Yeah.
I'm out there by myself by the mule, just burn, just do, 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 do.
bam, 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 bam.
Boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hide behind the mule.
You see that
going
video?
off which one?
The whole family sitting out in the front yard. They got all their fireworks in the back of their SUV. The hatch is open. They're out in the street doing stuff. And a mortar shell doesn't go up, and it blows up on the ground.
Ouch.
And one of those balls
yes, I did see
goes
that.
right into the back of
And
the
then
SUV and
lights them
lights
all
their
on
whole
fire.
stash at once.
First off,
Ugh.
take your fireworks out of your car.
Right.
Hello.
Yeah.
Dopes.
Yeah. Take it out of the vehicle holding 20 gallons of high-priced gasoline. Like, I don't
think you
mind
need
that
20
I-
gallons of bomb fuel.
yeah, I don't mind that you blew up my Explorer, but that was a full tank of gas.
Yeah, I did see that. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Take them out.
Yeah.
Like we have a mule, a Kawasaki mule, so I'll put them all in that. But like, I'm not getting to work in that.
Right.
You know, if it goes up, it's who cares? Whatever. I'm not trying to get to work. It only holds 10 gallons of gas. You know,
Right.
It's not a bomb waiting to happen. And listen, every year we have at least one incident. Like this year, so my brother's girlfriend's name's Rachel. So we go out to light. We're going to light like 3 cakes at a time.
Right.
Right. I said, well, we're going to light this and stand to the side, and then you run over and light this, and then I'll run over and light this. So we light it, run over there. We were over there 2 seconds. The first one goes off. Well, it knocked it over. Shot her in the leg. I'm not shitting you. She had a bruise the next day, like
man.
an 8-inch softball.
Ouch.
Right in her thigh. I was burned.
Yeah.
Like, just limping back.
We got our boys some pretty small, bottle
20
rockets and stuff like that. And July 3rd, we were out in
It's tough when it's a Monday.
Yeah.
They want to light them all weekend before.
Yeah. Well, we were out at Danielle's family's house. One of their family's houses out in Columbia. Her sisters live out there. Her sister-in-law or her brother-in-law lives out there. Her mom and dad live out there.
Time to buy a hunting cabin in Columbia.
Yeah, maybe. But her sister and brother-in-law own a woodworking shop, and that woodworking shop happens to be on a really cool piece of property with a big, big pond. Like the pond has an island; it's so big.
Nice.
They've got a boat ramp. Like
Nice.
It's cool. They've got a lake house, like on the pond. Like it's cool.
So like 5-acre pond or what?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's huge, and so. They dropped some coin on
Just some fireworks, blowing up some shit.
Well, they didn't do a professional display, but you wouldn't have known that. I mean,
They just
I bet
tied them all together with a wick and lit it.
I bet they spent $5 to $10 grand on fireworks. Like insane, right?
A lot of fireworks.
Well, we loaded our boys up. Our boys are 10 and 13. Loaded them up with some small stuff and took them out there. And I mean, we're pretty we let our boys kind of learn themselves,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you're gonna burn yourself. Pay attention, dude.
Yeah, and so one of the young adults, he's probably in his late 20s, he comes over to us and he's like, hey, just wanted to let you know that one of your sons is lighting bottle rockets and letting them leave his hand. He's like holding them in a circle in his hand.
You gotta throw them, bro.
And
you gotta throw them up a little bit.
well, and I'm like, okay. He's like, well, you don't want to go stop him? And I'm like, no,
Let him burn himself.
Worst that's going to happen is he's going to get a burn and he'll never do it again.
Yeah.
Or he's going to learn to throw him. These are all things I had to learn myself. Why would I deprive him of that opportunity?
Yeah.
So, and sure enough, about 10 minutes later, he comes over and he's like, "Burn my hand. Can I stick it in the cooler?"
Yeah.
He's not whining. He's just looking for some ice.
Yeah.
Sure.
What'd you do, dummy? Were you holding bottle rockets? Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Dope.
So we got the potato gun out and launched some potatoes a couple hundred
geese?
yards.
I mean, you would never do that.
Well, the geese were long gone.
Okay.
So
by the time the fireworks went off?
Yeah. We did. We tried hitting the 5-gallon bucket from about 150 yards away, and that did not happen. We came close. We could skip it across the pond and probably get it there. But
weak sauce.
Yeah. The spud gun is not... Sometimes it blows hard, sometimes it's pretty soft, so it's kind of hard to get the perfect trajectory.
Is it a 2-inch barrel or an inch and a half?
Inch and a half. They don't make 2-inch potatoes. So, I mean, they do, but...
What about an inch and a quarter?
Yeah, it'd probably go farther.
What if you had an inch and a quarter that had the same
T
at the end?
You get worried, though, because eventually that if your barrel's too small, then your PVC is going to try to explode.
Do you use pressure fittings or just vent fittings?
Just drain, waste, and vent fittings.
Maybe you should get some pressure fittings. Make it out of Mr. Plumber.
Yeah.
Mr. Plumber.
Yeah.
Do they sell a 3x2 Y or T that's pressured?
No.
That's a problem.
Yep. So...
what are we talking about today, Mitch?
Today, we are going to talk about social media.
Again.
And
Mitch's favorite.
Yeah. So we've done a show on this before on how I've seen success with our social media.
But you're just using a few examples. Not really like this show.
Yeah. So on the previous show, and it's in one of the core episodes. I can't remember which one. It's in one of the first 9. But we talk about so our business was a plumbing business, and nobody goes to social media excited to see plumbing photos, right? So if you
do,
maybe, but I'm odd.
You put one on yesterday,
this morning.
Is that this morning?
Yeah.
I saw it. What the fuck is this guy doing?
Oh, that was funny.
It was funny.
Guy was messing with his gun and accidentally shot his plumbing all up. But anyway, most people don't go for plumbing photos. And so, we had to get creative with how do you get people to interact with you on social media and not post pictures of plumbing all day long. And so you have to try to get creative with what you're going to post. And so, what we do in ours is we share stories through our Family First program, which is our community involvement work that we do. We also, once a week, we share photos of adoptable dogs that are available at a local animal shelter. And we write up a nice little thing about them and take a cool picture of them and help share them, right? We have a dog on the logo, and heck, I'm wearing a shirt that says Fix Pipes, Pet Dogs, we're all about the dogs, right? So, those get a lot of interaction and everything with social media. So
everybody loves dogs.
Yeah.
They're
if you don't
spending money to save dogs, but boy, if you talk about foster kids, they'd lose their shit.
Yeah, they'll lose their shit. Yeah.
I'm not going to go into
some of these ladies. I tell you that
they'd rather save 10 dogs than one kid.
Well, and they'll spend 10 hours chasing a dog and going on social media and giving you block by block updates about where he's at and which way he's headed and everything else.
Like anyone gives a shit.
Yeah, but
I bet you need a job.
Yeah. We went into what worked for us, but we didn't really go into why it works. And so today's show is to talk about why, we're going to talk about how social media functions. We're going to talk about literally the functions of what happens when you make a post on social media. And this can be on your business page. It can be on your personal page. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. So basically what happens when you make a post on social media, let's say you have 500 friends on social media. When you make a post on social media, only a small portion of your friends are going to see that post. The social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, doesn't matter. They're going to show a sample group of your friends your post. And you've seen these in your news feeds. Anytime you see it where it says just now or 1 minute ago or 3 minutes ago or whatever, you are the sample group. of your friend's post. So let's say you have 500 friends. They may only show your post to 10 or 20 of your friends, and that is it. And they're going to use what happened with those 10 or 20 friends to determine if they're going to show this post to anybody else on your friends list. And you think about the amount of people posting on social media and the amount of stuff coming in. It's physically impossible for a social media platform to show you literally everything that your friends are posting.
Why can't everything just go on there?
It goes on there, but
Why can't everything just literally... Like when Facebook first was getting really popular, literally everything just went on there.
Yeah,
and you could just see. I think that's what made it so popular.
Yeah.
Not to get you off of what you're talking about, but that's why people wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, my buddy Ryan's over here doing this, or Mitch is doing this, and
right. So they had to get creative because you end up with the crazy cat lady posting 49 pictures of her cats every day.
Or someone that's like, I love my kids every 5 minutes when they're little.
Or, yeah, your weird aunt that's like, just got done vacuuming the kitchen. You know, like,
yeah.
Like people overshare on social media, and a lot of it is not interesting.
Yeah.
And
sometimes
so
people get sunburned and then put their DKs out there, and they're like, hey, what do you think about my sunburn? And they're naked, and there's just a sensor over the little wiener. And you're like, did he need the sensor on there? Could I have seen it?
Could have gotten away with a smiley.
Seen it on there. Yeah, people share too much.
It could have just been the C of censored.
You're 100% correct. People share too much.
Yep. So we'll actually talk about that particular post in this discussion. But
bummer.
So because of the overload of posts that go on social media, they have to start kind of ranking them in some way, right? And look at what is a social media platform's job. It's not to let as many people see your posts as possible. It's on the receiving end of things. Their job is to provide you with good content and keep you on their platform as long as possible. Well, if they have an opportunity to show you 10 boring ass posts of your aunt vacuuming the kitchen and your crazy cat lady neighbor posting another horrible picture of her cat, like, or
my cat brought back another bird today.
Yeah.
He just loves me so much.
Yeah. I feel sorry for the bird.
I feel sorry for the cat. And I hate cats.
So if they had the opportunity to show you posts like that, which you don't care about, or show you stuff that's active and engaging and like keeps you on that post longer, they're going to do it. And they're literally tracking everything you do. They're tracking your eye movement. They're tracking like where you're looking, right? Because you can constantly see a couple of different posts on your...
That's why I have my little tape, or I keep my thumb over the lens.
There you go.
Top.
Yeah.
I do it. I'm like, screw these people.
So, I mean, they're tracking all of that stuff. They're tracking your microphone, right? So, and what I mean by that is like, they know if you just leaned over to the person next to you and talked about the post that you just read.
That's scary.
They can hear all that. It's scary. And this isn't anything new. This is 10 years old, right? What's scary is to think about what they're doing now that we don't know what they're doing now.
So when they... Stop for 5 seconds. So when you're telling me when I'm looking at Facebook and I see your post and I laugh out loud, like my mic's on the whole time.
Yeah.
Can I go in and shut my mic off?
Not like you have to give them, if you want to use the app, you agree to all those permissions.
What if I just shut my mic off completely? Because I know I think on my Apple phone I can do that.
They'll still, so they're catching it on enough different avenues that they'll still catch it, right? So they know like scroll, stop, read, laugh, kind of humorous. They can actually tell if your phone's tilting, like if you're showing somebody next to you.
I'm thinking right now of what I've done while looking at a Facebook post.
Right.
I'm trying to think of like, have I done anything completely embarrassing? Or
oh, maybe.
I don't think I have.
Well, so what they do with this information, one is they use it to advertise to you, right? If you stop on a whole bunch of plumbing things, then they can gather that you're a plumber, and they're going to advertise plumbing tools and plumbing supplies and anything plumbing your way, right?
I get so much plumbing crap now because of this stupid-ass show.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
Just like plumbing. I'm like, I don't care about plumbing. I don't.
Apparently you do.
No, I don't.
They think you do.
Well, their algorithm's fucked up because
so we should start talking about titties and beer so you get those kind of ads, right?
You know what? Next 10 shows, titties and beers only.
There we go.
Titties and vodka. That's all we're talking about.
So they're tracking it on enough platforms, and they're doing two things with it. One is they're advertising to you, but the other is they're learning about the types of posts that you engage with longer. And if you engage with other posts for a half a second and you engage with certain types of posts for a full 1 second, they just learned that they can double your time on the platform by showing you more of these types of posts, right? So, and we've talked about this on other shows like Beyond the Void shows where they'll purposefully try to trap you and they'll show you some controversial comment your friend made on somebody else's post that you're not even friends with. Yeah. And they're trying to get you to react and engage. To get you
sucked in.
Yeah. So, anyway, you make that post. It undergoes like a 30-second trial period where it's going to show it to like 10 of your friends and it's going to have that little just now, like you just now posted this, right? So as you're scrolling in your feed and one of your friends makes a post just now, they intentionally place that the next 2 or 3 posts down in your feed so you can see it just now. That is a sample, and they're waiting to see how you react to that to determine if they're going to show it to anybody else. And there's like 4 different ways that you can react to it, right? You can click a reaction, like a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a happy face or a care or whatever, right?
Yeah.
The laughing emoji or, whatever the case may be.
The only thing you get from me are likes. I don't put anything else on. I'm just like, boop,
right.
Okay, I like it.
Well, so even those reaction emojis, they have a different level of engagement to them, right? Like if all you get's a thumbs up, that's like the most minimum level of engagement ever. But you start using some of the other emotions to it, and now that ups the level of engagement, right? If you use like a happy, like a laughing one, now you're more engaged than if you just gave it a thumbs up. If you gave it the care emoji, now you're more engaged if you just gave it a thumbs up. If you give it the angry face, they love making you mad, right? So that's like of the reactions, that's going to be like the most engaging reaction you can have.
What if it's like, so remember when LOL, everyone would do
Yep.
LOL.
Yep.
And people, I know guys that still do it.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, it's a sad, what
Yeah.
are you doing? So what if you just always do one emoji or the other? Do you think that eventually it gets numb? Do you think your algorithm's that deep?
No, because they're tracking you on so many other things that they're still getting the info, right? But like just small microscope, just reactions alone, they're grabbing you off of that, right? They know that, okay, this post made him angry. Now we can show him posts like these again if we want to make him more angry. And they know that the angrier you are, the longer you spend on the platform, right? Instagram's horrible at this. They want to keep it controversial.
I'm not on Instagram.
I'm not either.
That's so
I do most on
stupid.
Facebook. So the next level of engagement up is comments, right? If you get a whole bunch of comments on a post, that's a very engaging post.
It's going everywhere.
Yeah, because most of the time, that comment also comes with a reaction. They're going to like it or laugh at it or whatever, and then they're going to comment on it and give their 2 cents on it, okay? The next level, and these are probably very similar in ranking, replies to comments and shares, right? So shares is an active level of engagement. You felt it so valuable that now you're sharing it on your page, right? And shares come in different ways. Like, it used to be you would share everything. Well, now people, like, let's say you make a funny meme and you post it out there. Well, meme stealing is like,
Yeah.
everyone does it, right? Well, they know that you saved that photo or screenshotted that photo
Yeah.
and posted it for yourself. They know that. And so that, that acts as engagement. Replies to comments are also very, very engaging because they want people engaged and on the platform longer. So if somebody makes a comment and somebody agrees with it or disagrees with it or has something to add to it, and so they reply to that comment and then somebody else replies and then the original poster replies again, like that's Facebook gold, right? Because now everyone's engaged and they're the most engaged they can be. So all of that is happening, and they're measuring all of that in that 30-second trial period. And so what happens if you make, like, we've all had posts that go nowhere, and we've all had posts that get like wild engagement. And what happens is it goes through that 30-second trial period, and if you get a like, it may show it to another couple of people. If you get a comment, it may show it to another 5 or 10 people. If you get replies to comments, it may show it to another 5 or 10 people. But every time an interaction happens on a post, it restarts the 30-second clock over again. And it keeps it live on somebody else's feed for 30 more seconds. It restarts and restarts and restarts. And Austin was with me, probably 2 weeks ago, a week ago, something like that. I had a post come up in my Facebook memories from a year ago. And it was a post I had made about, I was talking about how I was working at one of the larger companies in town, and I was way out of my element because I like engaging with people and I like managing people and leading and helping people. And this place just wanted you for your dollars. And I was talking about like the mental health battle I was having with working at this place. And then fast forward 2 years later, and now I'm getting to make a big impact on a whole lot of people and everything else. And this was a post I made a year ago. Okay. Well, it came up in my Facebook memories, and I just got done explaining all this to Austin. And so I said, watch, we're going to restart the 30-second clock on this year-old post. And at the time we did it, I want to say it had like 124 reactions and like 15 or 20 comments. Okay. I went back through the comments and I replied to like 4 of the comments. And I just, said, oh, it's crazy. This came up in my memories. Kind of funny to see this a year later. And I replied to those comments, right? Immediately, that post started getting more likes and more reactions and more likes and more reactions from either friends from a year ago that never saw it or friends that I've made on Facebook since then that never had a chance to see it.
Yeah.
It put it up in their feed. And so then I started getting more comments and more replies and more reactions and more comments. And the post, it was almost as if I just reposted it.
Yeah.
And it blew up again. The other interesting thing about all of this is social media knows how much time you spent in the text box. So they know the longer the amount of time you spend in the box typing a post, the more engaging it's likely to be. So if you spend 2 seconds, boy, it's hot out today, and post, they're not going to show that to very many people at all because you didn't put a lot of thought and effort into it. And their algorithms would say, chances are this is not very interesting at all because they did not put a lot of thought and effort into it. If you're copying and pasting text, it defeats the whole purpose, right? Like you could have an awesome post on Instagram, copy it, and then paste it on Facebook, and it won't do very well because you spent no time in the text box. So they're monitoring all of this stuff to determine how many people they're going to show it to, and then based off of their reactions, resetting that 30-second time clock to show it to more people and show it to more people and show it to more people. And I mean, there's a reason, like you still don't ever get it to all of your friends. Like you never do. Like I have over 1,000 friends on Facebook, and I've never had 1,000 reactions on a post. I've never had 500 reactions on a post.
Well, that doesn't mean that they all didn't see it eventually.
They could have seen it, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you can go to someone's page and see what they've been posting.
Yeah.
And I do that a lot. Like if I see a friend post something, like I don't post a lot of stuff. But
right.
A lot of my friends don't either. So like if I see someone post something and they're like, "Oh, hey, this has been happening, but I haven't seen anything," I'll just go to their page and be like, "Oh, okay."
Right.
We get kind of caught up on things. But that doesn't mean that not everyone's seeing it. That means that not everyone's reacting to it.
Right.
Or it's not as engaging as it should be.
Yeah. So,
and I'm sure there's part of that too that's like, hey, once they get past 2 paragraphs, that's not as engaging either because people in this day and age are like, oh, that's too long. I'm not. Rant over.
It just kind of depends. At that point, it's going to depend on like the subject matter of what you're putting out there.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this. We're going to bring this back to how you can translate this to your business.
Yeah.
As far as advertising goes. But just, this isn't a Beyond the Void episode, but don't you think that all of that just goes to show why none of us should be on social media at all? And that we should shut it the fuck down and get back to reality?
You know, I honestly think
it's becoming, what it is altered reality.
Yeah.
It's mimicked reality that's not what's actually happening.
Well, and there's a lot of people that don't have, either they choose not to, or they're just that ignorant to where they don't have the wherewithal in their brain to know that they're kind of being played by the social media company.
Well, 24-year-old kids don't know a world before social media.
Yeah.
So they don't have that in their world, this is how it's always been, and this is how it always will be. But like for us, you know, all there was call your buddy.
Right.
You know, and even texts weren't even a thing for us until, I don't know, 26, 27. I can't remember, and it wasn't even that rampant.
Right.
Like, you know, you just, like, people would text me, and I'd call and be like, dude, stop texting me.
Right.
Like, what's up?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that there's a good chance that we end up treating social media like the general population does smoking. Remember, smoking used to be like cool?
Oh, yeah.
And now it's actually okay to like chastise people for smoking.
You think we're all going to eventually be like, why are you on social media?
Yeah, like, get off that. You know that shit's going to kill you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You think that eventually people will be like, we have to stop doing this.
Right, like
just
everyone
go back to reality.
Everyone understands that the manufacturers of cigarettes, like, we're doing things intentionally to harm you.
And that's what social media
and
is.
So they banded together and was like, fuck smoking, right? We're gonna get the manufacturers of it. And so I think it's highly possible we end up back there with social media at some point where everyone bands together and hates it, right?
I hope so.
Or
I hate it. I fucking hate it.
Or people start understanding exactly how they fuck with you and they just ignore it, right? So like I understand, especially like this gets the worst during election times where they'll start.
It's coming up.
I know. Where they'll start planting stuff in your feed just to get you enraged and just to get you upset and everything else. So like, take this newfound knowledge, right? They understand your reactions. They understand your comments. They understand your level of engagement. Simply don't engage with that shit. Like, you can trick the algorithms out.
And I'm not trying to talk shit on people, but intellectual people can do that. I'm worried more about the 50% of people that don't grasp it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or aren't explained.
Yeah.
Or haven't had it explained to them in a certain way.
I think to a point you're never going to save that 50% of people. I think you're always going to have that,
but that person. The problem is that 50% of people can sway the way that society goes.
Yeah. Yeah, they can.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, we're like on the edge of a slippery slope.
We're doing our part by educating people how social media works. So we can lead them to water, but we can't make them drink.
You're 100% correct. But if they don't drink and society burns down, it's really it's a moot point.
Once we get some government,
I'm not trying to be like all no hands on deck oh god, the world's coming to an end. But I mean,
well, once we get government control over social media.
You can't do it. It's freedom of speech.
Well, it's not freedom of speech because they're a private entity.
Oh, yeah.
Just like they can silence you, right? So,
that's bullshit, too.
Once the government kind of stepped in and regulated how the cigarette manufacturers could advertise and where they could advertise, and, you know, you can't go to those old boxes that you used to see in bars where you plug in 4 quarters and pull the tab and you know.
I still see one once in a while, like in an old VA.
An old bar or something, right? So once you start getting a couple better regulations on that kind of stuff, then it may turn around. But so how this applies to any of our listeners is, for one, you can use that kind of stuff to help up your social media game. For two, you can use that kind of stuff to support your friend's business, right? If you see a friend make a business post and it shows up just now, or if you see it at all, do them some kudos and give them some levels of engagement, right?
Do 'em some kudos.
Do them some kudos.
I love you. Dude. That is not a thing. You mean do him a solid.
Do him a solid, yeah.
If you see it come up and it says just now, and he's like, hey, we were in this neighborhood today, we did this, blah, 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 it's been a great day.
Yeah.
It could be the world's most boring, lame-ass post ever. Type a comment.
Yeah.
That says...
Give it a reaction.
Yeah, and
then type a comment that says, hey, guys, kick ass. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Go get it.
Right?
And it keeps it rolling for them.
And that resets their 30-second clock, and it's going to give them another ounce of exposure to some other of their people and some other of their followers and everything else. So you see a lot of very short-minded things. Like there's a common post out there about how to support your friend's business for free. Comment on their stuff, share their stuff, and all this stuff. But they don't really explain the logic of why that matters. And if you don't know the why, it's really hard to get behind the initiative. And so once you understand that 30-second trial period and that 30-second sample size to a new audience, and every time you react to their post, there's going to be 5 to 10 more people that see that post simply because you did a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And now that you make a comment, and now there's going to be 10 to 15 more people that see that post because you commented. So you're literally helping your friend get more exposure by
and if you comment on it, and then they comment on your comment on their comment.
Yeah.
Okay. And those can be short.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to be some 2-minute. Oh, but I'm gonna help my buddy. I'm gonna drag this. No, a comment on a comment on a comment.
Yeah.
Is all it takes, and those can be short.
Yeah. So
2 sentences in the type box.
Right. That's all. Like your friends can support you in that way, and you can support your friends in that way.
So what if? Okay, so I come to Mitch and I say, Mitch, I heard your show talking about Facebook posts and this and that. What would be a good example of how long a post should be, and the content that I should put on it?
So
just give me a random example that would help anybody. It doesn't have to be plumbing. It doesn't. I mean, just in generalities, 3 sentences, 5 sentences.
Well,
what is it? A video, a picture.
I'll do it a little bit better. So videos, they're kind of tough.
I like videos.
I like videos too. They're kind of a tough egg to crack.
Like 20 or 30 seconds.
Yep.
I'll watch those.
Videos are kind of a tough egg to crack because the comments appear weird in there, the reactions kind of appear weird, and everything else.
Yeah, they do.
But so the multiply. So once you understand kind of the framework of how social media works, here's the framework of what posts do well, and it's 3 things, and it's super simple. Make it authentic. It's got to be you.
Yeah,
it's got to be real, right? It must be authentic.
When you say authentic, you mean not just in general this happened, like something personal that happened to you that day, or you're on the job right now, or...
Yeah, a post where you're not... and I used to be this way, and I'm still this way on some things, and if you're straddling the fence on a subject...
You're trying to stay neutral.
You're trying to stay neutral.
People can feel it.
People can feel it, and that's not very authentic, right? So and this is in general, this is outside of social media, people want to see you get behind something, right? They want to see you get passionate about something.
They want to see your emotions.
Yeah. So like you wouldn't hardly ever see me make a post about, like, let's say Roe v. Wade just got overturned, right? So you're seeing a ton of people make posts about that.
And none of them are authentic.
None of them are authentic. They're all kind of regurgitated.
10% maybe.
Right, right.
Hey, this actually happened to me.
And then the worst of all, like that happened before 4th of July, and you have these extreme view people that are like, what freedoms are we celebrating this year? Just cancel the 4th of July, and all of that. Everybody's posting. That's not authentic.
Those people should be beat half to death.
Yeah. That's not an authentic post, right? And so that's why most of those posts got like 3 likes.
Yeah.
And those 3 likes were themselves and their mom or something. But or maybe their moms, their dads,
their alternate personalities.
Yeah. That was their spam account, their fake account.
Yeah, their burner account.
Their burner account, troll account. So make it authentic, right? Another one is posts that play to people's emotions. And I don't want to say like in a divisive way. Sometimes it may be divisive, like the social media loves division. But a feel-good story, for example, always does pretty well. A funny story, the emotion of humor always does pretty well.
Yeah.
You know,
especially considering it's about to die. All humor's about to be.
I think it's coming back. I think it's making a resurgence.
Like, okay, you know what? Maybe we were being stupid. Maybe we can make some jokes again.
Stop canceling comedians because they said something honest.
Yeah, like
right?
Dave Chappelle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, look, no. If you have a vagina, you're a woman. If you have a penis, you're a man. And everyone was like, kill Dave Chappelle.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Just making an observation.
The third multiplier is make it engage worthy. Right? If you simply make a statement that's neutral and doesn't play to people's emotions, that's not really engage worthy. Like, you might get a thumbs up, but nobody's going to be like, I disagree, or, oh, that's funny, or, oh my gosh, you're hilarious, or anything like that, right? So those are the types of posts that die. Posts that do really well have all three. They're authentic, they play to emotion, and they're engage worthy, right? So, ironically, last night, I made a post on my own personal social media. So,
I read it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Is
So
happening?
we, in December of 2019, I bought my wife for Christmas, I bought her a trip to Cancun. And,
Been there. Love Cancun.
Yeah, we've been there before, but this was December of 19, right? This was before 2020 happened.
Right before COVID.
We never got to go. And so we are finally, here it is July of 2022, and we're finally going on the trip that we booked in December of 2019. And so I work outdoors quite a bit, so my forearms get nice and tan. But
for those on YouTube, I mean, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like, I am.
He's got the two-tone going, right?
Yeah, that's a bad two-tone.
And so I've been trying to like work around the house shirtless and stuff like trying to get that tan going, because the worst thing you want to do is go to a beach vacation and get roasted on day one and then you're miserable for the whole trip, right?
Yeah.
And so I've been trying, but I don't have a whole lot of time. Like by the time I get home, the sun's not at a good hour to work on that tan, right? So my wife's been going tanning. She's a redhead, pale skin, so
she has to go tanning.
She has to go
or
tanning.
She'll burst into flames.
Yeah, she'll literally turn into ashes on the beach.
Yeah, like her skin's so clear you can see her veins.
Yeah.
It's
not now. She's holding color.
Not right now.
Yeah, she's got tan lines, and she loves showing off her tan lines. So she's been going tanning, and the other night she was like, hey, you should come tanning with me. My package lets me bring a guest for free. I'm like, okay, like what could it hurt?
Yeah, what could it hurt?
And so I go tanning.
Maybe I'll burn my penis.
Yeah, so I go tanning. I've never been tanning, right? Don't even know what to do. So the lady that's like showing me how the bed works and everything, and she's like, we're going to only do 6 minutes instead of like the full 10 minutes. And
yeah,
we don't she's like, undress to your comfort level. It's whatever you want to do. This is your, thing.
All guys know cover the stuff.
Well, so
it's like rule one.
Yeah, I took everything off but my boxers, and I'm like, I had the knowledge enough to like pull the waist down a little bit and then pull my legs up a little bit so that the tan lines would like be hidden under swim trunks, right? No
Crown Royal bag.
Yeah.
Like that's what you needed.
Well, yeah, no Crown Royal bag, right? As I would later find out, my boxers, the button was missing on them, and I didn't know this, but the fly was gaped open.
So you got a diamond,
so that's
red diamond on there?
Right where you don't want it. So like 2 hours later, I'm sitting on the couch at home, and I'm like, man, my legs are kind of itchy. And I thought it was maybe something in my shorts or something. Like something just didn't feel right.
Well, there was something in your shorts. It's called sunburn.
Yeah. And so then, and I pulled my shorts up, and they weren't red yet. Like it didn't show up right away. And so then, like 2 hours later, I'm laying in bed, and now I pull, like my legs are still itching, so I pull my pants up, like trying to, like, am I in hives or what's going on? And so I pull my boxers up, and now I can see a very definitive, like, burn line, and I'm like, oh, fuck, like, I got sunburned, right? The next morning I wake up, and I am fucking red as all get out. And Like, it's bad. And I didn't even pull my legs up, like the leg cuffs up evenly. So it's like this really uneven thing.
First off, I saw the post.
Yeah.
And it's awful.
So I took a nude selfie in the bathroom photo, and I doctored it up so that it was censored for social media, right? And I'm like, hey, this is a great opportunity. I had a feeling we're going to be talking about the social media stuff soon on the podcast. I'm like, this will be a great opportunity to see it. So for our listeners, if you go to our Facebook,
Mitch.
if you find me on Facebook, you can see this photo. But
start calling you RD.
It plays to all of the multipliers, right? It's emotional because it's funny, it's painful. Like, people have been there, or they haven't been there, but they're afraid of being there,
or they're laughing at you for being an idiot.
Right.
Yeah.
It's authentic because, I mean, you can't hide it. It's fucking real life, right? And it's engaging because people are going to laugh, they're going to react, they're going to say that's funny, you know, all of this stuff.
You're an idiot, stuff like that. Yeah.
So I put that doctored photo on there. I made sure to get my wife's permission. Like, I didn't want to be like putting half nude photos of me on Facebook without the wife being, you know. And she's like, I don't care. It's your fucking Facebook. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I post it, and, you know, of course it does really well on social media, right? Tons of engagement, tons of reactions, tons of stuff, comments and replies to comments and all of that kind of stuff. And it's a perfect example of things that do well on social media. You can't force authenticity, right? So you can't.
That's the problem with Facebook. Is people try to they're like, oh, I haven't put anything on there, and they just try to force something on there. Oh, this happened.
Yeah.
Oh, this happened. I hate this. No, that's not how it works. No one wants to see that crap.
Right. They don't want to see you become somebody who you aren't just for attention on Facebook, and that's why that stuff doesn't go viral, right?
Yeah.
So, and we've talked about this in the past. I've got a TikTok that went mildly viral. It got like almost 700,000 views and like 30,000 comments and all of this stuff. And you look back on it, and it plays to all of these things. It was emotional, it was authentic, and it was engage-worthy. And so those are the ones that really do well on social media. So it's kind of a square is a rectangle, and a rectangle is not a square type of thing. And what I mean by that is just because it's emotional, authentic, and engaging doesn't mean it's going to play well. But every post you've put out there that played really well on social media was those three.
Yeah.
So
if you're a business, try to use those parameters as a guideline to what you're posting.
Yeah.
And say 50% of the time they do really well. That's going to help your advertising. Well, and that's going to help drive your business.
And the other thing too is most of this, your business and your personal page are two separate things. You can get tons of business through your personal page.
Yeah.
Right? You stay engaging and you stay authentic on your personal page, you're going to get tons of business from that. People are still a little unsure about interacting with business pages, right? Like, they don't go to social media to be sold shit. They don't go to social media to have businesses pepper them with offers, right? If anything, the ads are kind of a nuisance. And so
the ads are a nuisance, but if your business page isn't a bunch of ads or isn't a bunch of bullshit, and it's more like a personal page, people are more likely to engage with you.
Yeah.
And
so
with your business.
So, for example, there's another business here in town that they are, by the numbers, they are 35 times larger than I am, our businesses. But they only have 5 times the followers on Facebook. And they only have, like, I have about 5 times the engagement level on my business Facebook posts than they do on their Facebook posts. And it's because they're not playing by these three. Their posts aren't original. They're not authentic. They're not emotional. They're not engage worthy. They literally use their Facebook to, like, sell shit to people, and everyone tunes out, right?
Yeah.
So here's a business that's, like, by the numbers, 35 times larger than me. Their followers are 5 times more than me, but yet I can get 5 times the engagement level on my posts compared to them just by applying these rules. So now there's another business in town that's probably 40 or 50 times larger than me, and they play by these rules, and it works. They're killing it. Like, it's awesome. So some businesses have it figured out and some don't. But emotional, authentic, and engaging, and remember the 30-second rule and what Facebook is doing for how all of that plays out.
And it's more important for smaller businesses.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're basically trying to get off the ground, so every engaging post you have is more valuable to you than a company that's got 50,000 people following them.
And it's free.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is it's free. Like, it's either figure this out or pay an ad agency thousands of dollars a month to do this for you.
Yeah, I should have wrote down, so we just did a Q&A show. It's not out. Is it out? No, it's not out yet.
No, it's out. It came out today.
What was the guy that asked about how to find, he was extremely worried about getting calls, staying busy, driving his business. Hopefully he's still listening, because this is basically the second part of his question.
Yeah, this is how to run your social media, right? And
if you're just on your own and you're just starting and you can do those things along with what we talked about in the last episode, I mean, you're killing it. You're so busy you don't know what to do.
And some of this stuff ain't an overnight success. You're going to post something on social media, and it may fall flat on its face. That doesn't mean you're a social media failure.
Keep going.
You're learning, right?
Yeah.
You're going to say, okay, let's go back and look. Was it emotional? Maybe it wasn't. Was it authentic? No, it was somebody else's words. Okay, maybe that's why it fell flat on its face. Was it engage-worthy? Not really.
You know what?
Right?
And you can ask your friends, too. Ask your friends that are close to you, and they will give you honest answers.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Dave, dude, I put this on. What did you think? Dude, it sucked.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right.
You know, ask them why. Hey, why? Well, I know I've seen this before, so I know you pulled that from somewhere.
Right.
Or you posted like something just like this, 3 or 4 different times last month.
Yeah, that's the third.
Yeah, I'm out, dude.
Right, that's the third water heater picture you've posted this week. I'm kind of tired of seeing water heaters.
Yeah, so I just, rolled by. Well,
right.
I mean, they'll tell, good friends will tell you the truth.
Right.
Especially friends that you've had for a long time.
Right.
They're not doing it to knock you down a peg. They're doing it to tell you the truth. Hey, yeah, you're right. This sucked.
This sucked, right?
And people get those blinders on. Like, I do it. I'll build, like, if I'll build something in the shop and I'm like, oh, man, I really like this. My wife, I'll ask her. I'll be like, hey, what do you think about this? She'll be like, eh.
Yeah.
And I try to ask her without, without leading on to how I feel about it.
Yep.
Like, hey, what do you think about this? Or this idea? Eh.
Right.
Dude,
and meanwhile, in your head, you were going, this is a home run.
This fucking bitch. Try to get honest feedback from people.
Right.
And it'll help you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you got to have, man.
So, I think that about wraps up our...
Wrap it up, Mitch.
Our show on how the social media thing works and how to use it to your advantage. So... guys, if you like what you heard, like what you heard,
is that a thing?
If you like what you hear or like what you heard on the show, we're combining words here. If you like what you heard,
you're special.
Do us a favor and help share this show with somebody else who might want to hear it. So we don't pay to advertise this show. And our show is gaining in popularity weekly. However, we are not popular enough to start running ads on the show or anything like that. So we don't make any money on the show is what we're saying. So how you can do us a solid is by sharing this show with somebody else who might want to hear it. This episode here might be share-worthy even on your social medias. So not all of our shows are share-worthy on your social medias, but this one here, you could share this on your social media and say, hey, these guys have a really cool way of looking at social media. So anybody who's wanting to dominate the social media game, check this out. So, but yeah, do us a favor and help share the show. Also, don't forget you can email in questions to askmitch@mitchsmedley.com. Until next time, guys, we will see you later.
Love you guys.
Peace.